The PR for Igbo men. Y'all went crazy with this movie. Hey guys, my name is Ifunanya Cindy, and today we are going to be reviewing the movie Love in Every Word. And if you haven't seen this movie has gained so much popularity over the past 2 weeks, and I'm here to review it and give you my thoughts on the movie. Love in Every Word is a Nigerian romantic drama that has garnered significant attention since its release on YouTube March 7th, 2025, produced by Omoni Oboli and directed by Stanley Obi. The film features Bamike as Chioma and Uzor as Obiora. The narrative delves into the complexity faced by modern Nigerian women in balancing career ambitions with personal relationships. Chioma, an independent and successful businesswoman, navigates the challenges of a demanding job and a tumultuous past relationship. Her life takes an unexpected turn when she meets Obiora, a wealthy and resilient businessman from Anambra, whose traits remind her of her father, leading to internal conflicts about their potential union. So since this movie has come out, it has garnered about 18 million views at the time of this recording, and I'm sure it's bound to grow so much more. I feel like there's so many life lessons and so many things that I've learned from this movie. The movie is about 2 hours long, and I watched it all the way through. There were moments in the movie where I was cringing super hard, but other than that, it was an easy watch. I wasn't pausing or taking breaks. I think it was the perfect pace for me. It wasn't too slow and it wasn't too fast. Actually, it was a little too fast, and we're going to get into it right now. We're going to start off with the main character, Chioma. As we see, as I said before, she is a businesswoman. She has her perfume line, and she also works in an office. So one thing I love about this movie is the career woman trope. So this is very popular amongst Igbo women. We're very ambitious people. We have our own lives, and it's something that I loved, a theme that I really loved in the movie, how she had her own job. Her friend was a lawyer. I'm not sure what the other friend did. I don't know if they talked about it in the movie, but I loved seeing the presence of strong career women in this movie. It is so important to have your own money and your own life outside of a man. I loved how it wasn't all about her man. I loved how she actually prioritized her job in this movie. I believe that Chuma has a really good balance of both masculine and feminine. Okay, so she's really about her business, she's really about her job, she's very ambitious, but you also see her in her femininity. She's very soft, and you see that transition in the relationship. So when she was with her ex, the trust fund baby, she was supporting him in all his failed businesses, all his failed forex training, whatever. And she was taking on that masculine role, taking care of him as a man. But then when she meets Obiara, she falls into her femininity. She is accepting gifts. She is, being told that she doesn't have to work as much. She's finding her softer side. Some of you guys are with the ex. Some of you guys are with that man, and this is a sign to break up with that man. Okay, you are not here to build a man or be his mother, whatever. Find yourself with a man like Obiara. Obiara is the perfect depiction of a perfect Igbo man. Now, the PR for Igbo men in this movie went insane. So not every Igbo man is like Obiara. We're going to talk about his red flags too, because there were some. But the typical Igbo man is, very hardworking. He's that wealthy real estate man. They love to take care of their women. Igbo men love to take care of their women. Okay, like they will have chefs for you, maids for you. This is in Nigeria. I don't see that much here in the diaspora, but ultimately, Igbo men have that provider mindset, and it can come to a detriment because although they could be very financially providing and in tune, emotionally they're not so much. But in that movie, we kind of do see that Obiara has the best of both worlds, and that's why I'm saying it's kind of like a fantasy, and not all Igbo men are like that. So let's continue. More about the femininity that we see in Chama. She is accepting gifts. She is being vulnerable. Towards the end of the movie, we see her talk about her struggles with her father and Obiara being kind of like a trigger in her life, where her father flaunted his money, and that was all they known for. And Igbo men take pride in their wealth and their status, and you hear him say throughout the movie, like, I'm a titled man, and I'm like, It was a little bit annoying, but he's a titled man. Her bringing up her daddy issues and being vulnerable with him was very valid. I appreciated her for doing that because, you know, we were able to get down to the deep issues on why this man was a trigger for her. And honestly, he was a trigger for me too in some points. We're going to talk about that later. Okay, next we're going to talk about the Igbo PR. So there are some things that Obiora did well. Let's start off with the pros of what he did well. First thing that I noticed that he did well was he handled rejection very well. Now, you don't see that a lot with men, and that for me was a green flag for him. You know, he was giving gifts, and you know, even when she rejected him on the date, he still had something for her, like a gift for her. And he was like, just because, you know, you said what you said about me doesn't stop me from being a nice person, a kind person. And that is rare. Actually, that's not rare. I wouldn't say that's rare. It's 50-50, and it's hard to see guys accept rejection, and he took rejection very well. So that was a green flag for me for sure. Another thing is him cooking. We know how rare that is, seeing men, traditionally conservative men, cooking or being passionate about cooking. That was definitely a green flag. This movie definitely broke stereotypes, but yeah, we do not see that often about him being a good cook. I also noticed that he was a gentleman. You know, he was holding the doors for her, opening car doors, paying for dates, pulling out her chair. Also, after the first date, I was surprised that she was the one that initiated sexy time. Girl, like I said, breaking stereotypes. I loved how he said that, you know, I don't want the relationship to be built on that. I want to wait. And for me, that was such a green flag. And like I said, not all Igbo men. The Igbo men PR for this movie did its big one, the biggest one, okay? That is the ideal Igbo men in those terms for the green flags. Now let's talk about red flags. This one is going to be a little bit of a deep dive in what I saw. Let's talk about love bombing. So this is something that I saw coming up in the commentary about Obiora and how he basically pretty much love bombed her. That's what they said. And I can see this, okay? There are many issues to this topic. So when Obiora first meets Chioma, the first thing he says is,
Achalugo, I'm going to marry you.
She's excited, you know, she's happy, whatever. Like, if you're a Nigerian woman and you're talking to an Igbo man or a Nigerian man, this is pretty common. I have firsthand experience where I have met Igbo Nigerian men out in public, and you know, we exchange phone numbers, and literally the first couple messages is like, I want to meet your parents, let's get married. Personally, to me, that's a red flag. With that being said, there is nothing wrong with being intentional when you meet someone and making your intentions known, but forcing someone kind of like, I will marry you, I know how this is gonna end, to me, that sounds like a threat. That sounds like a threat to me. I'm so sorry. That is a threat. Like, sir, I don't know you. At the end of the day, we're still strangers. You know nothing about me. I know nothing about you. Something about an Igbo man seeing an attractive girl and the first instinct is, I want to marry you. We can at least get to know you. Like, let's get to know each other. Let's be friends. And then if I like what I'm seeing, or if she likes what she's seeing, you know, then we can make that next step. The I love yous came so quickly. When she said I love you, and I was just like, how? Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me, and I could be totally wrong. Let's dive deeper into this dating culture, lack thereof dating culture, our parent generation. One thing I see with my aunties and uncles is, I see you, you see me, we get married. In the Nigerian culture, marriage is very pedestalized. They hold marriage in a high regard. As soon as you turn 25, girl, you could have not had a boyfriend for your whole life. As soon as you turn 25, you are expected to be married, okay? Married. I am 24, so I literally have only like 9 months left. You might see me with a ring on my finger next January. Anyways, in this movie, I didn't see much of a dating culture. It was very rushed. I feel like this happened over 2 weeks or like a month. Being engaged in a month, maybe for their age group, is normal. To me, that is a red flag. I don't know if I would say Obiora was a love bombing. He did give gifts every day, and to me, if you cannot maintain that, don't do that. There's a stereotype about Igbo women being materialistic. I'm sorry, if you're just giving me gifts every day and they don't mean anything to me, it's a little too much. What kind of gifts are you giving every day? At this point, save all that money and get me a house or a car. We just didn't see that development. Like, I wanted to see, like, how how do we get over conflict well? What are your communication styles? What are your what is your love language? I feel like we just did not see that. But part two, I guess, is supposed to be like the wedding and them happily ever after. I just wish that we got to see the dating, getting to know you phase, like the tension. When the kissing scene happened, it was straight on and I was uncomfortable. I was cringing during the kissing scene. I was like, girl, this is the first date. You don't even know this man from anywhere. To me, it was a little rushed. Like their love story was a little rushed. Another red flag was him yelling on the phone. I get that your boss called you at an ungodly time, but that reaction was over the top, and to me that is just a red flag. Like, as humans we have self-control, and I feel like he couldn't regulate his emotions, and to me that's unacceptable. Even if my boss is calling me at a bad hour or whatever, like, for you to be so disrespectful and yelling on the phone like that, like, I don't care who it is, be respectful, because to me that was just so unnecessary. Like, yelling like that, it was a bit too much. Okay, next, the whole building scene. Now, me, I'm a book talk girly, so I'm all for a man buying your company and being your boss's boss. But he bought the building, like he was a landlord. So to me that scene was kind of confusing, because I wish you bought the company so you can be Chama's boss's boss. So when he was talking to Chama's boss like that, I'm like, you're just the landlord. Like, you didn't buy the company. Like, what are you gonna do? Evict her? I don't know. Oh, she was the CEO of the company, so I guess you could evict her, but it was just so weird. Like, that scene was weird, because even the security guard was like, yeah, he owns the building, but you work for the marketing company, or you work for the woman, you don't work for him. That was just a little confusing. I guess that's what they were trying to do with the whole I bought the building thing. I guess they were trying to say that, like, he owns the company or the building. I guess that's what they were trying to get out with that, but that was a little bit confusing to me. The final red flag for me was the mother. I get that you want your daughter to be married, but the whole he is rich, marry because he is rich, it was a little too much. Him being rich should not be the only good thing that makes him a good candidate to be a husband. I feel like you should want more for your daughter. There's plenty of rich men out here, and they're not all good people. Being rich doesn't automatically make you a good person. To me, that interaction was a little weird. Honestly, from a director point of view, that would have been a good moment for the mother and the daughter to sit down and talk about the father and the trauma, and kind of understanding that. I don't know if that's typically what happens in Nigerian culture, but that would be a good way to kind of like display that, talk about the trauma and why I am not attracted to this man, because he reminds me of my bad father. That would have been a good moment for that, but instead it was like, marry him, he's rich. I'm like, girl, you want your daughter to be done how you were done? Like, overall, I feel like it was a good movie. Both of them had good chemistry. I loved the comedy. I loved how Obiara was like, we have two children, one of them is a sight and one of them is for sore eyes. Like, that was so funny to me. I found him very funny. I love the chemistry. The romance was a little cringe, if that's what they call romance. Okay, for me, I feel like Nigerian romance and like American romance, it's a bit different. For me, like, just giving someone so many gifts, and I wish she opened the gifts, because if the gifts were thoughtful, then I would have been like, okay, like, fine, like, that's romantic. But if you're just buying gifts every day at my workplace, that can be a little annoying. I'd rather you just give me one big gift, maybe once a week, or roses once a week, than like every day I'm getting gifts. That plays into that love bombing. But overall, I would give this movie an 8, a strong 8. I was gonna say 7.5, but I'm gonna give it an 8 because the acting was good. The storyline could have been a bit more developed. It definitely needs more than one part. If you guys have any more thoughts on this movie, I definitely want to hear them, and leave a comment down below. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye, guys.